This is the Good Grief, Good God Show, where we feature raw, honest conversation about surviving things that suck. Today's episode starts in just over 2 minutes, so feel free to skip ahead and jump right in. Now, a quick host and guest introduction followed by a short preview of today's episode. Your host, songwriter Brad Warren of the Warren Brothers, has written songs recorded by artists including Tim McGraw and Faith Hill to Taylor Swift and Lynyrd Skynyrd, with 9 reaching #1. But Brad's purpose goes far beyond songwriting. This show, created in the honor of Brad Michelle's son Sage, who was tragically lost to fentanyl poisoning, offers a space for guests to share deeply personal stories of resilience, hope, and faith. Today, Brad welcomes Marine Corps veteran and USA Today and Amazon bestselling author C.G. Cooper. C.G. has written dozens of novels, led by his core justice military thrillers that have racked up over 2 million downloads worldwide. His novel, Chain of Command, won the prestigious James Webb Award from the Marine Corps Military Foundation. Now sober and rooted in Nashville, he's still writing stories America can't put down. In this episode, one of Brad's closest friends sits down to talk about being an author, friend, and his long road to sobriety. Here's a short preview of today's episode.
You know, I'm a serious writer, so I was like, I'm gonna stop drinking because I want my creativity to come back. And so that's a story I told for a long time. Everything looked awesome on the surface, and inside I'd lost all color, and I didn't understand why. I asked my wife if I could talk to her. I said, I think I need to see somebody. She said, have you ever been to a meeting? And I said, no, I've never been to a meeting, but I'll go to one tomorrow. And I looked it up online, and the next day I went to where I would later meet you. That first time I went, realizing that I was not the only one.
Today's episode is presented by Songwriter City, where the songwriters take center stage. Their shows blend hits with the powerful stories behind them, creating unforgettable experiences. Book your favorite songwriter, including the Warren Brothers, at your next event by visiting songwritercity.com. The Good Grief, Good God Show is dedicated in loving memory of Sage Michael Warren. Executive producers, Brad and Michelle Warren. Segment producer, Lisa Bull.
So some guy at AA this morning, I've known for a long time, he goes, hey, he's an older guy. He goes, why'd you get all your tattoos on one arm and not the other one? And I go, I don't know. I had no answer. I'm like, I don't know. I started one place and I just figured I'd fill that one up, and I haven't really, I said I'm saving the right arm for my mother.
Did I tell you when I came home with this? And Katie goes, what did you do?
Oh, she didn't like it? Yeah.
I'd been talking about it for 2 years.
At first. Yeah.
And still she's like, no more. You are done.
So previously to Sage just passing, Michelle was very not in favor of tattoos. Afterwards, we've let it fly. She actually has a tattoo now. And so that's when it was probably good too, because I would have put a bunch of meaningless crap on my body. And
sorry to interrupt, CG. You mentioned cussing. I just all edit around the F-bombs.
I'm not say shit and whatever, but I try to avoid the F-bombs just out of like my mom being upset.
Is she the first one to listen?
No, and she doesn't even watch them. No, she watched the first one and she loved it and cried. Then the second one was Jeffrey Steele, and he used the F-bomb a lot. And she was like, that boy's got a dirty mouth. Like, that boy is like 60 and he's an amazing Christian guy, and you're missing a lot of good information because you don't like the F word. Yeah. Yeah, the interesting thing is, because I've had a lot of friends on here, but you're someone I see like every week, typically. So it's just different. Actually, since I've been around for a little bit, that does make it.
Who was I talking to? I was like, I get to go hang out with Brad for a couple hours. They're like, oh, what are you guys doing? I'm like,
filming it?
Yeah.
Filming what we typically do.
Right.
Oh, good. Look at you.
I thought you were going to maybe like read some pages.
I was thinking about having a stack of your books out here.
Oh my God, I would kill you. It's like when he was doing a show and he's like, so there's a really famous author in the crowd. I'm like,
so, hey, true story.
Back in the dark. Like, we were like back.
He's like back. Carlos doesn't like public accolades. He's just like, so Sunday night we did a thing at Blackberry Farm with John Meacham and Robert K. Orman. Robert K. Orman's a music critic, and he used to trash us, but he's been nicer in the last 10 years, but whatever. But he's one of those guys. So, John Meacham is funny, really funny guy. You know who he is? He's an author.
I know the name.
He's an author, and he writes like historical nonfiction. He wrote this thing with Tim McGraw.
So he's like smart.
Very smart, like really, really, really smart. So, but he's written a bunch of books, and he's a big time guy. And he introduced us, but he gave us a couple shots. He was funny. And Brett came up and he said, John Meacham, how about that? And everyone, it's like, this is Goldman Sachs, and they rented the entire Blackberry Farm. It's like really cool event. And Brett said, yeah, John Meacham introducing us, man, that's wild. I just realized today that he wrote 2 of my favorite books, and I actually loved The Firm and The Pelican Brief.
So you know what my nickname is, right?
No.
Juan Grisham. And it all started, we were in an Uber on the way downtown. This was years ago. And this guy, this guy was super chatty, super, super chatty. And he's like, oh, so what do you do? And it like kind of went around the car and it got to me. And I'm like, oh, I'm an author. I don't even know why I said it. He's like, oh, really? What's your pen name? Like, what do you write? I'm like, Juan Grisham. Like, it just came out. I mean, I own the domain. Oh yeah, all of it. Yeah.
You should just rewrite John Grisham books in Spanish.
Listen, the firm was like legit.
It's great stuff, man. It's great.
Really good stuff. I met him once too.
Did you?
Mm-hmm. I worked. I was in catering, and like 3 of us got picked to go. It was at Monticello, and I met him and Tom Wolfe same night.
Oh wow!
It was a teeny tiny little cocktail party, and they gave me a tray of champagne. I dumped it all over the floor. I was there for about 5 minutes.
I hope you're a better writer than you were a champagne walker.
That night, that's the only time I've ever done that, was in front of, 2.
Yeah, of course it was. It's time when you. That's good stuff. So it's funny because Carlos, but it's C.G. Cooper.
Yep.
This is what your writing name is. You and I became friends through recovery, and we'll talk about all of that.
This is weird seeing you go serious, by the way.
Yeah. Well, it's not going to last long. Believe me. So I'll start with my quote because got a quote for everyone. And your quote is, honesty in storytelling makes up for a great many faults. And that's Stephen King. I know we share a love-hate of Stephen King and his writing.
Yeah.
I don't hate anything, but yeah, I'm not a big horror guy, but man, is he smart.
He is, I mean, his book on writing is it's my Bible. Now some of the things he believes, I don't really believe in anymore.
Yeah, 100%.
But the honesty part of it, I remember when I read that book the first time, and he talks about like not using big words, like use words that you usually use. I was like, oh, thank God.
Don't use big words because you're ashamed of your small ones, which I think is such a cool way to.
And use curse words when needed.
Yeah. Don't say excrement when you mean shit.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Great stuff. I started off being fascinated by it. We met without knowing what it was we did, and we were both been fascinated with each other's living. You writing long and me writing short. I write 3-minute songs and you write novels.
And I don't know how you do it.
One sounds a lot smarter than the other one, but how do you write that 3-minute song to music? I'm like, oh, that's easy. It's been a fascinating ride just to peek into your head and talk about how you write. By the way, how you write more than 1 book in a year, which is crazy to me, and you just like pump them out constantly. But then again, writing 100 songs a year doesn't seem very feasible either, which is insane. You have a military background. I just want to kind of start at the beginning. Yep. We share a lot, and we'll get into a recovery, and you've walked with me through my grief, and all of these things will come about. But kind of want to know the beginning. I know you come from kind of a military family. Give me the things I don't know.
So I guess for the crowd, born in a military family. My dad was in the Navy. I'm the oldest of 4 boys. So there's a lot that goes on with that I figured out, right? Like I never did anything bad. Ever. Didn't have a sip of alcohol until college. And so I was always the responsible one. My dad would go away. My dad wasn't around a lot because he was deployed or working. So my mom and I had a really good relationship. So I had a great childhood. We moved every 2 years, got to live. When I was 7 months old, we moved to Japan. So Japanese was my first language, then Spanish, then English.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
Can you still speak Japanese?
No. I mean, I can do the accent, like
better than me?
Fake it. Oh yeah, absolutely. I tried to take it again in college. It did not go well. No, it did not.
Kept that going. That
yeah. Oh, I wish. It's funny because my youngest is doing Japanese on Duolingo now, which is hilarious. Just out of the blue. Has nothing to do with me. So yeah, I grew up all over the world. Japan. Usually lived on the coast. Like always in California. I was born in Monterey, lived in Virginia a bunch of times. So yeah, just moved around, had a great family, always loved 3 younger brothers. My next youngest brother, Eric, is 2 years younger than me. So he and I were usually pretty close. And then, you know how teenage years come and you kind of split up a little bit. And then my senior year, he invited me to come run cross country. Had never run in my life. One of the hardest things I've ever done. And thank God I did, because that got us like super, super close. So out of the 4 brothers, 3 of us ended up being Marines. The fourth brother would have been a Marine as well, but he had an ROTC scholarship like the rest of us did, but he had a thing called sleep paralysis. So you literally wake up and you can't move your body. He said it's like the scariest thing you can go through, like you're paralyzed. Comes about through lack of sleep and high stress, which is the military. So the military was like, we're not going to take you. Funny enough, he's like the triathlete, probably the fittest of the 4 of us.
One?
No, he's the second to the youngest.
Okay,
yeah. So my youngest brother, Andy, is like 6'5". So I'm the shortest. So we go inverse, and I'm also the Mexican brother. So it's Carlos, Eric, Danny, and Andy. I'm the only one with a Hispanic name. Yeah. So
both of the same parents.
Unique stuff, right? So, but it all kind of plays into like my story.
But you all had the same parents.
We do. Yeah. Same parents, but I would have been the 4th, and they didn't want me to be the 4th. They didn't want me to be Charles Cooper the 4th. So they made me Carlos, and then the rest of them got American names, which was really nice. But growing up as a kid who wants to fit in, I didn't want a Hispanic name. I just didn't. Oh. So, you know, I was a shy kid. I was a smart kid growing up. I never really had to try in school. Everything was pretty easy. Again, super loving family, and then get to college and it's like, oh, this is pretty cool. You know, like I go for my first year in college, and, you know, we might as well segue into the recovery part of this, because I know that's what we're going to be talking about. First week there, I go to my first party, because in ROTC, they have this kind of like hell week. So you go, and then at the end of it, you get invited to this party. This is where I had my first beer, and the first aha moment for me. And, you know, I later heard that only alcoholics and addicts are the people who remember vividly their first drink or their first high. I remember
it's so good until it gets bad, isn't it?
Oh, dude, I remember like it was 5 seconds ago. I remember what it tasted like. I remember what it felt like. My lips went numb. The one and only time my lips went numb drinking was that time. And you know, after that, I had fun for my 4 years, and we had a blast. And I didn't do so great in college. The joke is, and the cautionary tale for my kids is, I almost failed out. They wanted to strip my scholarship and take away my commission in the Marine Corps. And I stood in front of a board and everything, and 2 guys stood up for me, my commanding officer and the lead Marine who was at the unit. And thank God they did. Why did they want to kick you out? What did you do? My last semester at school, I just... there were a lot of personal things that went on, like girlfriends and my mom and all this stuff that I didn't know how to process. I had not yet learned that like shit happens in life, and that you need to ask for help. And this would be kind of a recurring theme after that, right? Because I was always self-sufficient. I never had to ask for help for anything. And
it wasn't alcohol related though?
A little bit, but it wasn't like I was going to do that to cover it up at that point. Now looking back, there were aspects of it, but in the beginning, no. So, you know, I went to a little bit of counseling at that time, you know, because I'm sure there was some depression through. Like I remember walking to class and keeping my head down because I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want anybody to see me. And that was the first time I had ever been like that. So it's like, those were the kind of like the first inklings that like this thing, you know, my head wasn't quite right on certain things, that maybe I couldn't live life on life's terms, right? Because it was all stuff that normal people can handle. And, you know, long story short on that, I spent an extra summer at school, kicked ass, got in the best shape of my life, you know, as close. I can't have a 6-pack, but I got as close, you know, because all I could eat, I didn't have any money. So it was like chicken and pasta every day. So, oh my gosh. And I went to the gym like 2 or 3 times a day, swam. I was jacked, and went in the Marine Corps. And then while I was at Quantico, went back to school. Funny enough, I'd been Quantico for a little bit, and it was my birthday. So I was going to go back to school. I took 9 of my Marine buddies with me, and we each had a handle of liquor and a case of beer. And we were just there to have a blast. we go and we're going to go stay with my best friend who it was his birthday too. He lived in the house with 2 other guys and 3 girls. One of the girls was my wife. And so we get there and I was like, I didn't hang out with my friends at all that weekend and just ended up coming back. And it felt like home, like it still does. Like when I see her and I miss her and it reminds me of the time we were in Tampa and God, you and Michelle saw each other at the Publix. And like we were all together and you guys just like gravitated and it was that feeling, right? It's like, I don't know. It felt super sweet and it reminded me of that time.
That's
but
an
even
interesting
still,
thing. That is home where,
especially
after some years, it's like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I found my person. I did. Yeah. I wasn't looking. I mean, I thought I was going to go like recon and do all this crazy stuff. And as soon as she got into my life, like, I'm like, I don't want to be away. Like, I don't want to do all these things. I ended up being an infantry officer anyway. Loved it. Loved that sort of thing. Loved being a leader.
How long were you in the Marines?
6 years.
6 years.
6 years. Yeah. So 3 years in Camp Lejeune and then another 2 out here. Well, so basically like a year of training, then 3 years and then 2 years out here. So that's how I ended up in Nashville. My last duty station was here. That was really hard because when I checked out of Camp Lejeune, that's when we invaded Iraq. So as I was coming out here on civilian duty, my whole battalion is going to Iraq.
Oh, wow.
And you talk about mind games. Yet another thing I didn't know how to cope with at all. I didn't.
Guilt from not going?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because at the same time, when Fallujah happened, my brother was over there. And I remember that time when my brother's in Fallujah going, I'm just going to tell everybody to screw off and just go because I want to be with my brother and I want to make sure he's safe. I mean, I had nights where I was so worried about him, and I don't know. That one was really tough. And then of course close to the end of his tour over there, his Humvee gets blown out from under. I mean, I've seen the pictures. I don't know how they all walked away. I really don't. And Eric, my brother, is my best friend. He was best man at my wedding. Like, he's the one guy that I could take, and I say this to people all the time, I could go anywhere in the world, and I'm a safety guy, right? So it's like, I don't like going places that I can't control. I could go anywhere with him and feel safe. He's that type of person. He's just very calm and at ease, although he was kind of a hellion growing up.
He's your Danny Knight. I got my friend Danny Knight who's coming here tomorrow. Yeah, he's an Army Ranger guy. And you just drop him. First of all, you could drop him naked in Syria.
Right. And he'd be okay.
Figure it out. He'd just be figured out. So anywhere you are at any point, you're like, if we're in America with Danny, we're gonna be fine.
Just give him a toothbrush, right?
Doesn't matter. Now you might mind sleeping in the airport because he'll literally like, we're gonna go spend the night on the airport floor, take a sleeping bag.
I don't do that anymore.
Yeah, no, I don't plan to. But you're gonna make it. That's and that's the brother right under you. Yeah.
So the others. So my youngest brother is 10 years younger than me, and we're all really close. I'm very, very lucky. We all are at different stages of our lives, and that's totally fine. But my brother Eric and I are the closest, and we're going to Zion with them in November to go hiking and do all. After our friend went out there and bragged about it and showed us pictures, I'm like, I want to go there too. Again, one of those things that like when I got out of the Marine Corps, I thought I would never want to go for a walk or a hike ever again because we walked and hiked everywhere. And now I love it. Hike, you and I, we go to the park and do that thing.
I love it.
Yeah.
So when I mean, like, it's like everything's going good. You met your wife. What's the alcohol journey?
So I would say that was for me, it was a progressive thing. Like, it was always a fun thing. Because I was a shy kid, it helped me fit in. It just did. You have those first couple drinks and you feel normal around people that that's the funny thing is like not even around strangers, even to this day, like, and I'm much better now, but I'll go to have lunch with somebody, not you because it's different, but like a friend who I've known for 20 years and I'm nervous before I go. I'm like, is that just part of who I am? I have no idea. But alcohol, it just helped that for a long, long time. And it got to be one of those things that was part of everything that I did. And I wasn't I was a responsible guy. So I never drank at work or that sort of thing. But when 4 o'clock hit, I caught up to everybody else. And I'm not a big guy, but I could outdrink pretty much everybody at the party. And because, part of me was that Marine pride of, and that was the other thing in the Marine Corps too, was that was kind of celebrated, right? Like everywhere we went, alcohol was involved.
It's a little bit like the music business.
Yeah.
Like it's, how much
without the cocaine and all.
Cocaine.
Yeah. Because we can't do that. Yeah. I didn't touch any drugs until afterwards.
You had to go to sleep at some point during the night.
Yeah, we did. But we would get up the next morning and train, and everybody's hungover, and you smell like whatever last night was. So yeah, for me, it was just kind of a progressive thing that I didn't know was catching up with me. And then, I told somebody today, it just got tiring, like really exhausting, because, you try to quit for a couple days and whatever, and you're like, maybe I could feel better, whatever it was. And I couldn't stop for more than a couple days, maybe a week. I think maybe a week was like the longest that I ever went without it. And you just don't know, like, because I'm not one of those guys that lost everything. Like I wasn't screwing anything up royally, but what's the line? I didn't get in trouble all the time, but every time I got in trouble, I was drinking alcohol.
No, that's actually a really good one, because that's true for way more people than want to admit it.
Yeah.
Like every
Totally.
time they get in alcohol's ruined the marriages of non-alcoholics for hundreds of years, probably, but certainly for decades. Like, yeah, I don't do something stupid every time I drink, but every time I do something stupid, I'm drinking.
And when I realized that, I was like, all right, something's wrong. And then it was back in whatever year that was, 17, and we were in Turks and Caicos, and we're on a beautiful vacation. And I couldn't get enough, like really, it's like I couldn't get drunk, and we're at an all-inclusive. And I'm like, all right, something's wrong with me. And I didn't say anything about it to my wife at the time. And we got back, and I'm like, I did I'm a serious writer. So I was like, I'm going to stop drinking because I want my creativity to come back, like fully, like, and so that's a story I told for a long time, for the next 10 months. And what I didn't know is how dangerous it is to just put alcohol away and not get help. Mm-hmm. And my everything, it was super highs and super lows. And I would sit there at dinner with my family and just like a zombie and not know what was wrong with me. And so 10 months later, finally, I would go for runs and just cry, as I was running on this beautiful golf course that we lived on, and like everything, I was making more money than I ever had, and everything looked awesome on the surface, and inside I'd lost all color in my life. And I didn't understand why. I was like, I thought I had done the right thing. And so one Sunday night, the kids left after dinner, and I asked my wife if I could talk to her, and she's in the medical field. And I just said, I think I need to see somebody. And being in the medical field, I thought she was going to say, well, I know this shrink, or, we should go see a therapist. And she said, have you ever been to a meeting? Again, I hadn't had a sip in 10 months.
What was her experience with
none
recovery?
None that I know of. I don't know, but she knew something that I didn't, or God was right there.
Yeah.
Both probably. And I said, no, I've never been to a meeting, but I'll go to one tomorrow. And I looked it up online, and the next day I went to, where I would later meet you. And that first time I went, realizing that I was not the only one, I don't know. I remember one guy, I remember, and obviously we'll keep this anonymous, but, I remember staying in there, and again, I'm cursing and crying, and, and I remember almost every detail of that meeting. And I remember saying that it felt like all color had been stripped of my life. And the very last guy to share at that meeting goes, Carlos, we're going to give you your paintbrush back.
Wow.
And I will never forget that. And he was absolutely right. I've been given all the things I never knew I wanted. I never thought I would have fun again. I never thought I would be funny again. I thought that was the only way to be funny, and come to find out, we find jokers like you, and we laugh all the time.
I laugh more now than I did before,
dude.
But I was like, I hope this is peaceful and serene, because it sure as hell is not going to be fun.
No,
you know what I mean?
No.
We're going to sit, Indian style and whatever, have a little seance and go to this little cult thing over here at the basement of the church with like bad coffee and cigarette smoke.
We didn't have that when I went.
No idea.
You went like 50 years ago,
I'm
right?
officially an old timer. I know. It's my age and my long-term sobriety wisdom I'm giving you here.
Thanks for that. I appreciate
smoke
that.
Indoors. Yeah. Matt, our producer here, would be very, very comfortable in that room. I want to know what the difference. It's funny because I don't know how you feel about this, but I was always first of all, I thought I was Charles Bukowski in song form, and I would write crazy pages of nonsense on an airplane. I just thought it was funny. One day I'm going to write a book, and but even in our songwriting, it was all just sarcasm and whatever. And I thought, I can't. First of all, 0 hits. We got a record deal. We were opening for big tours. Nothing of substance at all. Had never written a song that had done anything. Just I had people advancing me money based on potential.
And your hair.
And well, duh.
I've seen the pictures.
Yeah. I mean, it's still here. It's just thinner and grayer and more brittle. And but I really was protecting this muse that didn't exist. Like, oh, well, certainly. And Stephen King addresses it in the book on writing. It's like such a myth. But I'm like, I can't possibly stop partying because I'll lose this brilliant muse that I have that's carrying me through something that hadn't done anything yet. I was literally protecting something that didn't exist and willing to risk my life for it. Fast forward, get sober. That the year we got, the month it feels like we got sober, we got our first hit to go to radio. And by the end of the year, I got a check for a hit song from a hit artist in the mail and was like, oh God, I'm a songwriter. And God doing for us what we can't do for ourselves. But like, was there a moment where you said, I'm not ever going to be able to write a book again?
Well, funny enough, my, one of the things they probably tell you is that your brain needs to figure itself out again. Like I've heard stories of people getting sober and they lose their keys every day for 2 years. You know, what happened to me is I lost my creativity for like 6 months and it scared the crap out of me. So throw that on top of all this other stuff. And I'm kind of in crisis mode at that point. So I didn't know what the hell was wrong with me at all.
I don't know if it was just me, but when I got sober, I wanted it so bad I didn't care.
Yeah.
I thought this is it, but I got so bad that I'm like, I don't care if I ever write again. I was telling everyone around me, I'll go work at Home Depot. I'm done with this. I can't do this anymore. So
I was closer to that point. Absolutely. Because I was scared because we had certain commitments by that point. We had just moved into a new house, at the old neighborhood, really nice place that was getting, turning into this magical wonderland. And I was like, how am I going to support this? So it's like all that fear just started stacking up. And then you jokers come into my life and change everything. And then, as we say, the promises started coming true, which
we back up a little
amazing.
bit. So how did you? I mean, what causes someone to say I'm gonna write a novel? Like how did that between the Marines and here? We kind of skipped that part.
So for a long time, like when I was in the Marine Corps, for some reason I've always loved movies, and I thought I was going to be a screenwriter. And so when I was on deployment, I would go to the PX or a library, and I would get either books or like regular novels because I read like crazy, or I would get books on screenwriting. And so as I'm deployed, I'm like learning all this stuff and, just kind of one of those pipe dream type things. And then fast forward a few years, I think it was 2011, we were at Disney World and we had 2 kids at the time. My wife and my 2 kids go down for a nap. And this idea had hit me while we were in the parks. It was this guy, former Marine who's downtown Nashville, loses his fiance, blah, 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 all this stuff. And I'd like never had this idea just like plan itself and just start running. And so I sat down and I wrote like 4,000 words. And I had never done that in my life. And it was one of those things where you wake up and you're like, what just happened? I mean, it was a crazy feeling. And so that's how it started. And at the time I still owned a property management company. So I would write on my lunch breaks. So I would just close my door, eat lunch, and write as I would do it. And I got finished in a couple months, learned how to publish on my own because at the time, like Kindle was fairly brand new still, like a year or two old. So I hit it at the right time. You know, it was very good timing for me. And there was just starting to be more stuff online on how to juice your publishing business, basically. And so I'd stay up until 3 a.m. reading everything I could on how to run a publishing company, for, you know, an independent publishing company. So I'm a student of it. I'm not just an artist, I'm also a business guy. And so I put those two things together, and I met some key people, which luckily you can reach out to other independent authors and they'll respond to you. And one friend in particular, who I'm having lunch with tomorrow, Robert Crane, who now lives in Nashville, he had written something, a post about what he was doing that had completely changed his business. And I read it over and over and over and over again. And then I emailed him. I said, I want to thank you. I put it into work and it started changing my business like within a month. And I wrote him, I said, I want to thank you so much for writing this. This is what I've done. I just want to let you know, thanks. We end up becoming friends. I went to Minnesota. We walked around Mall of America, got to know each other for 3 hours. And now we're like really close friends. And if we move, we're going to be like right around the corner from each other. So it's like, so I've been able to hopefully help people the same way. But I had a couple key people, probably like you do when you came to Nashville, that you met them and they plugged you in. I'm very lucky that I have guys like him, like another good friend, LT Ryan, same thing. He's in my genre that I write in, and there was never any holding back on information. It was, look, we're not competition. Like, hopefully we can help each other. So over the years we have, but that's where it started. So like slowly, not really slowly, quickly, because I didn't want to do what I was doing. And then I sold my property management company. And I asked my wife, I said, can I have some time to figure this out, figure out what I want to be when I grow up?
I'm going to write books.
Yeah. And she kind of thought I was crazy. And I asked for 6 months. And within that 6 months, I wrote 2 or 3 other books and put them into the series. And they started making like real money. Like, I remember my goal was, God, if I could make $3,000 a month, like maybe I could be like a stay-at-home dad. That was part of the deal, was I had to be a stay-at-home dad at the same time. And so I would take care of the kids and write, you know, while they were sleeping or whatever. And by the time that 6 months, like I had passed that $3,000 a month, and I'm like, oh, this is like a real thing now. Like, this is cool. But then, you know, it's like some of those grandiose ideas start running around in your head too. And
no matter where it plateaus, whatever our ideas are, when it plateaus, it's like, oh, that's it. It's over. We're done. And, you know, you and I, it's been amazing to have each other, because I don't really want to talk to someone about this stuff that does exactly what I do, because we're just back and forth, like vomiting on each other. But when I can talk to someone who knows kind of, and then you tell me your thing, I'm like, it's so different, and yet it's just alike. And when it is nice to be able to say, when one of us is like, I'm never going to have an idea ever again, it's over. And you can go, yes, you are. Your best work is always ahead of you. And the honest part of it for me is I've been through a lot of strange things, but it doesn't define me so much as like this music business thing. But I do enjoy the language of it. Yeah. So that's why I do. Like, I don't have to be in the middle of everything. Someone was saying, oh, we have to get this song to here, and you have to get this song to here. And it's someone that's working for me and trying to do better. And I said, I don't have to be involved in everything anymore. I don't have to be part of everything, and kind of getting rid of that creative FOMO. And I think kind of it's allowing me to just be more creative. I feel like the quality is better since I'm not so worried about the quantity. There's something about, and I wanted to ask you this, do you have like it's not creative FOMO so much as the pressure. I'm supposed to create. Yeah. Now, do you feel like I wish that I was just gone for a minute and then maybe I could readdress it in 6 months?
I know now that this is what I was meant to do. This is why God put me down here, because last couple of years, business kind of, it went down like a lot. But where I was lucky is I was surrounded by guys like you who were going through their own journey of, like, I remember when you said, well, I don't think I want to write with new guys anymore. Like, I remember you saying that, where you were and how you said it. And you were like, nope, not going to do it. And now to see how you've come full circle and like people want to be with you, you've got guys that you are mentoring because you're so damn good at it. And it's like, I had to see somebody else do it. And I felt like you fell in love with the work again.
Yeah.
I had to fall in love with the work again. Everything from writing to relearning Facebook ads again, to get my business up to where it needs to be. And it is. It's now probably by this time next year, I will be, 2 times what I was my best year ever.
Wow.
And it took stopping, taking a step back and going, all right, first of all, what do I want to do? Like, do I want to keep doing this? And then you realize, it's like I asked you a while ago, something, I think we were having lunch and I was like, what kind of music do you listen to? And you're like, I don't listen to music, and this was years ago. But I remember we were at First Watch over there off of McEwen, and you said that. And then the next moment I'm like, all right, what's this song and what are they doing? And you picked the song apart, not in a bad way, but you were like, yeah, they probably did this. And I'm like, you know exactly what this is. Like you are a master at this craft. And I realized like, I'm not an expert by any means, but I'm pretty damn good at what I do. But I know what my lane is. Like I am not Stephen King. I'm not Tom Clancy. I'm somewhere in between. Like I like to entertain people, but I also like, because of what we do, I like that hidden message in there.
Yeah.
Like Greco, right?
Yeah.
Like that book was that was somebody that you introduced me to that turned into something else.
Which is crazy because that was that corporate thing. Wild. So kind of catching up on that. Like, so Sobriety, I've read 6 or 7 of your books, and I can see the recovery piece kind of entering in there. We've been discussing for days now. With different people, it just seems like this week is all like recovery is pretty great for everyone. But being able to add it to your work is, rather than it being like I'm losing my muse, I think you gained a new one, right?
Well, I think it's funny because in the beginning you're so scared of like, am I going to break like anonymity, or like, what am I supposed to do? Like, what are the rules?
It's fiction. You have no rules, right?
It's absolutely. And I've had people reach out to me in recovery and go, hey, you did that right. And I'm like, oh, thank God, because I don't want to do it wrong.
Yeah.
Like I want to be truthful to what my experience has been and not write about things that I don't know about. But that's where guys like you come in and, you call me on my bullshit and we call each other on our bullshit, which is great. And I need that.
Yes, good. You've done a lot of things for me on my creativity, encouragement, whatever. One of the things that just hit me is like, dude, don't be running from AI. Embrace that. Embrace that. Tell everyone about AI, because you really did change my, and it is a helpful tool. It's here. One of the things you said to me,
it's not going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere.
Nope.
So befriend it, learn it, and then you can control it rather than letting it control you and overtake you. Yeah. I
mean, it's no different than back when we had horse and buggies and then all of a sudden we had cars, right? Oh, I'm never going to drive in one of those things.
Yeah.
Actually, I think the better example is, remember back in late 90s, early 2000s when like our parents or grandparents were like, oh, I'm never going to put my credit card online. Okay.
I was one of the last.
Whatever. Yeah, I know. So, but it's the same thing. Like it's all AI is already embedded in everything we do. I heard somebody say, and I'm not smart enough to come up with this stuff. Like, don't be scared of it. Like you can be like the best version of you to the power of AI. So you can basically be like 100x songwriter because of this tool, because it gets to know you, it gets to know what you like and what you don't like, and it can just, it can make you so much faster at what you do. Like I remember the first day that you texted me, you're like, hey man, I really got stuck. And then I used it. Like I walked into the bathroom and I just needed whatever. You needed to, rhyme with something. And it gave you a list of 20 things. And it gave you that quick little shortcut that you didn't have to stop your creativity. And that's what I try to tell people. It's like, AI is actually not creative. Like I've given it plenty of tests, like write a couple chapters for me. Without guidance, it can't do what we do yet. It might be able to get there, but it can't do
songs,
that.
There's this Suno app and it writes songs. I will say this, and I actually, this is a microcosm for what's going on creatively in the world anyway. It can write some good, what you would call good. I say okay, something okay, but I've never heard it write anything great.
Yeah.
If you
catchy,
if you're great, catchy makes sense. It rhymes. But if you write something great, if you do something great, if you write it doesn't have a heart.
Yeah.
So if you write and play with soul, it's got these demos these AI demos, and my son's actually great at making them, and he works for a record company, and but there's no soul to them. It's just like, it's absolutely soulless. So I don't
But
think
you can say the same thing about Oreos, right? Like, do Oreos have soul? No, not really. Right?
But they're delicious.
Yeah, they're delicious. And should we make them go away?
Oreos in bro country.
Yeah. Everything has its place. Right. Because then you don't have anything to compare to. So I try not to be afraid of technology like that, because if I do, then I'm letting everybody else who accepts it cut in front of me, and I can't do that.
That's such a good thing for me to hear, and it was good. And I started off using it like Google, because it's not good, it's so much more. But like you said, I did have it translate something the other day. It was in another language. I'm like, hey, translate this just to see if, and it would literally like translate what I was. It's there's some amazing things. I've had political conversations with it. I've had, I mean, like arguments with it, and it's my wife now says when we have a question about something or we're traveling, she's like, "Why don't you ask your girlfriend?" So I go to my girlfriend.
Wait, what's her name?
Chatty Kathy. She's Chatty Kathy. But it actually is not just. It's a little bit of a microcosm for everything. It doesn't mean so my lovely 81-year-old mother is, this phone, it's just doing crazy things. Well, it's not, the phone is not doing crazy things. You're 81 and you forgot how to use it, which is, I'm proud of her. She has an iPhone. That's amazing. But with all of this stuff, our fear of using it
totally
keeps us at bay. And it's like, you're like, no, just use that. And it really has kind of opened me to all of it. Like I didn't get in one because they weren't open to the public, but we were in San Jose last week and the Waymos were everywhere.
Oh yeah.
The driverless Uber.
Yep.
And I'm like, I'm getting in that car. Like first of all, the guy that wound up driving us home, because we couldn't use the Waymo, it was only for Google employees and we were on the Google campus. The guy that wound up driving us home was far less safe than that Waymo was going to be.
Absolutely.
This guy was gas brake at the same time going. He looked like he just learned how to drive. And
I can't wait to have my own robot.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're going to be the first one.
I'm so ready.
And all of this stuff, I'm going to let you get the robot first. And if like you'll figure out how to get it to not kill you. If it kills me,
then you won't get one. Got it. Cool. Yeah.
Right. Or if you figure out how to not get it to not kill you in the middle of the night, then I'll have the textbook on that. Okay. Carlos said, don't say that to it. It might stab you.
There will be safeguards and you'll be just fine. But imagine like I don't know. When I talk about AI with people, I try to like relate it to their life, right? Like I've got a buddy who's an airline pilot and he trains other pilots. And I was like, what takes the most time? He's like, writing the reports, the after reports. I'm like, well, would it maybe be easier if something helped you with that? And he's like, well, how would that work? And you just walk them through it, right? Like, but I will tell you, this is going to be. They're doing studies and they found out that I think this will be huge for our world too. Actually, I have something that happened the other day, but they've done studies where therapy, right? Where they've had a human therapist and then they've had like a computer therapist. So like AI, and afterwards they asked them, like it was overwhelming that people actually trusted the computer more than the human because they didn't feel like they were being judged. So if you have that in your pocket day to day, imagine that. Or a professor in your pocket for the kids. I tell my kids, use it all day long. If you need the advanced subscription, I will pay for it. I'm more than happy to do that. Wow. The other day, I was like, I'm kind of trying to go back to the big book, right? And kind of be better about that. And I'm like, I was going through a situation. I'm like, instead of picking up the thing, I'm like, hey, give me like 3 different passages or 3 different quotes from the big book that relate to this. Sure enough, it did that. It explained why, how it related to me specifically, because it knows me. And I'm like, holy crap, how have I not used that before? So what they're finding is it's not just work stuff. Like ChatGPT, they actually said in the news the other day, like most people are using it for personal stuff now. Yeah, well, I talked to it about the physical things, the cold plunging, and what are the health benefits, and what is brown protein? I mean, I could just talk, and we talk back and forth with it. I don't know exactly where I think God probably made us to be in the Garden of Eden barefoot and whatever, but the fact that we're not there, in the Garden of Eden barefoot,
you know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know that we're designed to have all this technology, but it's there. Befriend it, learn it, and like fear is just, it will keep you from like being the most you can be in whatever situation. So I really enjoyed like just kind of opening up whatever technology is there, and it's kind of it's been kind of a helpful thing. as it relates.
It's been fun to watch you do it. Like I love when you're like, hey, I did this. I'm like,
you're the kind of guy that reads like 7 books at one time, though.
Like
you know
20,
what I mean?
actually. Yeah. I'm a weirdo.
Yeah, really, like very, and I know that you'll always everyone compares himself to a smarter person, but you're very smart. You're very well read. You're an author, damn. But so when you start telling me something's really easy, I don't really believe you.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, yeah, but you said reading 20 books at one time is easy, but it really is. It's like
it is.
But I feel like an old lady. Like I feel like my mom going, okay, Sonny, I want to put this in here.
Except now you can just talk to it, dude.
It has been helpful though. It's been helpful with the writing and all. We let it plan a vacation for us. You know what I mean?
Have you convinced Michelle to use it yet?
Oh yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
good.
She's all about it, and she'll just tell me to ask my girlfriend unless she'll use it herself. But
has she used it for house designing yet? I'll teach her how to use that afterwards. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. You're welcome.
You suck. This podcast is costing me money now.
There you go, buddy. There you go. The podcast you said you were never going to do. How do you feel about that now, by the way?
You know,
how many years later?
You want to hear this? 4 years, I think. Now this is
4 years.
Season 3. I don't know if we've been talking about this for a long, but it's the 3rd season, and already. Yeah, you know what's funny? If maybe God changes his mind about what he wants me to do, or maybe I just open myself to whatever. But I'm really trying not to make plans anymore. Yeah. Just allow it.
Same.
So we got to get into our group. I'm going to apologize to my mom because of the name of this group, but my sponsor in recovery, so I'll say that to keep everyone from freaking out that I said AA. You know, I sponsor recovery, and there's 5 of us, these guys, and we started getting together like weekly. It was like 7 years ago. It's been a long time because it was before Sage died.
It was, yeah. No, you're right. It was before.
Well, I know because we walked through it. I mean,
that's right, because we started at his office.
Together
I totally forgot about that.
It's this, just 5 guys from very different. It's a mechanic, a contractor, a lab scientist, an author, and a songwriter.
How are we the 2 smartasses of the bunch?
The village people of recovery. And we started this group. It has been the most rewarding thing that I just can't imagine having been through what I've been through the last 5 years without this group. And it's not just based on like these are 5 of us. We may have been friends without recovery. We certainly it's been a long time now. We do have a lot of things in common, but it's like it's a mishmash of things that would happen. But God knows what he's doing. And we have literally walked with each other through crazy. I can only talk about my thing, but my big thing being the loss of my son. And our friend Wes, that's my sponsor. He was the first call I made. He's up for my brother after talking to Michelle when Sage died. It's like, that's just, and this group of guys, we just kind of whatever. And everyone's had challenges, big ones. And we just kind of like walk through it with each other, and everyone gets okay. It's been pretty amazing group of guys.
I don't know what I would do without that group, because we do regular meetings, regular recovery, but this to me feels like a different level, right? Because we do go deeper, and obviously we say things there that we don't say in more public settings. Things
we would get arrested for.
A little bit, yeah. I'm actually surprised we haven't said more things that Matt has to delete afterwards. Maybe that comes later. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like anytime there's anything that's screwing me up in my head or in my life, I can go, and you guys have either been there or you can help guide me through that. And I did not understand. That's the whole thing, right? This was something that I never knew that I needed or that I wanted. I knew I wanted to feel better, and that's the whole reason I stopped drinking. But for me, I'm wired a certain way. I'm an empath, right? So I feel everything. Mm-hmm. So it's like you've said, I have this gift. I have this gift of feeling and noticing emotion. I can come into a room and pretty much know what everybody's feeling. But what does that do taken to the extreme? I can get sucked into your bullshit like that. Mm-hmm. And so I've had to learn how to make those boundaries. And from you guys, I've learned that, right? Like working with other guys, you realize real quick, I can't keep anybody sober.
Yeah.
That was hard for me. Yeah. Like those first couple ones that like went back out or disappear, I'm like,
I failed.
Oh yeah. I was like, I'm the worst. Like I should never be doing this, but it's not my job. No. It is not my job. Like I love the attraction, not promotion part of what we do. I absolutely love that.
I think the church could use it.
Yeah, I think
It's
so too.
actually one of my favorite parts of the program. And this group of guys, you and I have talked about it before. And actually, you're probably going to write the book one day. Like, find your tribe.
Yeah.
And I would encourage. One of the reasons I wanted you to come on here was because I want to encourage people in their recovery or in their grief or in their cancer or whatever it is. Find your tribe.
Yeah.
Find your people. Misery loves company. It needs company. Find them. Be honest. Be vulnerable, and you will get something back from that. I had a friend, and he had a medical condition, and this is something that's kind of an incurable thing. This is not going to kill you, but it was a very annoying thing, and they had a support group for it to go to support. And he had talked to some people that said they were helpful. That you should go to this, and he just wouldn't go.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, that's the key. It's not that I don't like the taste of alcohol or there's not something in me that still wants to get high. There is.
To me, never registered until I was taken down to my knees. You know what I mean?
And the 30,000 foot view that someone else has to your problems literally is so much more accurate than the 2 foot view that we have of our own.
Totally.
And that's what we were into, the find your tribe. Like, you have to find your people.
Yeah.
And it's, I wish that the big church worked, or the workplace was good, or the business of music, or the group of authors that you had would fill that hole every time. It just doesn't.
Yeah.
Like, dig a little harder and find your ailment. And the people need to have a common enemy. I think you need to share it's not you share a career or a group of interests. I don't care if you play golf, I don't. I ride motorcycles, you don't. We don't have to share the exact same interest, but I'm way closer to you than the other guys that ride motorcycles.
Yeah.
Typically, we find someone with a common ailment, common enemy, and then that group has been powerful. Like, I literally am a better human being because of that group of people.
I mean, I walk away every Monday night going, thank God.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we were talking about it this past Monday, that why is it that if I have a problem, you know the solution, but if you had the same problem, I would tell you the solution, right? Like, I am not a dumb person, but I can be dumb as hell.
Yeah.
And I just thank God that there are people that can point out the truth to me, you know?
Even dumb people like me can see your shit better than you can. We're just too close to it. I mean, and it's almost all the same, 4 topics. It
is.
It's pink and green, and it's what, what I mean?
Acceptance.
It's basic acceptance and pride and ego and
humility.
God. Yeah. Oh, I don't want any of that.
No. But why do you think that more people can't find their tribe?
Well, I will say this. I believe in recovery so much that if we don't, if we're not driven to this point, we just wouldn't. Why would you address a problem that's not ruining everything, right? Like, I wouldn't have stopped drinking. I'm so glad to not be a drinker. Zero, it's just better for me. Zero alcohol, it stays out of the equation. I don't have to worry about it. It's not in there. There's never a mistrust. My wife doesn't have to wonder if this is the night it's going to be. But if I didn't have a problem with that, it would still be in my life. It just wouldn't be the problem. So the fact that we've had to take drastic measures to address something, we found a lot of hope and recovery in this road to being sober. So what we've done, I think, is just kept going down the road closer to the answer, instead of just saying, okay, I don't drink, we're good, and sit around white knuckling. So I think more people don't do it because they're not as messed up as we are. We needed the road to get out of trouble. So we started driving away from the house fire that we just lit, and we just have kept going.
It's funny you say that. I don't know if I told you this the other day, but somebody was saying something one night, and it was along the lines of, sometimes it pisses me off because I should know better by now. I should have figured this out by now. And it hit me because I feel the same way. Like, I should be perfect by this point, right? I put in the work, I've done all this. And then, of course, you a couple of years ago introduced me to Jesus Calling, right? The book. And one of the things that I disagreed with absolutely up front was when it started saying, thank me for your problems. Mm-hmm. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. And then it just keeps coming. I'm like, no, I really don't want to. Well, guess what? You have to. And what I realized that night, for some reason, it hit me in the head. I was like, if I was perfect, I would give up. I would stop doing all the things. So God knows that. God knows that he has to keep throwing shit at me, or else I'm just going to stop doing the work because I'm lazy. Right. So now I can better accept that. I don't accept it fully because I'm a knucklehead like that. But I don't know, something about when people say something that just hits that spark in me. That was a big one.
The truth is, if you were perfect, you'd be him. But the thing is, I'm glad I'm not closer to perfect or think I'm more perfect, because we're not going to be. But when I know there's work to do, I'm better off than when I'm like, we're pretty good here, man.
Yeah.
Everybody's.
Turns out we're pretty good at doing the work.
I'm chucking some wisdom out there every now and then, and headed to the gym and drinking some carrot juice. We're all good here. Not.
Speaking of wisdom, I made the mistake of listening to your interview with Steve Lee yesterday. I'm like, I gotta follow that up. Good Lord, that man is so good.
He's so good. Oh. He's so good. I mean, if you can be the Pope of recovery, which is totally, it's like the pastor that the congregation gave him a medal that said the most humble.
Right.
And then next week they had to take it away from him because he wore it. You know what I mean? But if you can be the Pope of recovery, he's good.
He's a good one.
There's just a lot of good information out there. And it is the funny thing is it's simple, but it's not easy to do. It's not easy, but it is simple. And that really is one of the main reasons that I wanted you to come on here, because the tribe, instead of having, actually maybe someday we should have all five of us sit around and do one of these meetings on tape.
That would be fun.
But along with my dad's meeting with the dads that have lost children, which is very powerful in a different way, that thing of finding your small group of people that you can be honest with. And basically what we do is go around the room and just confess to whatever we did wrong that week.
Or good or bad.
There's some days just, I'm so almost perfect that some weeks there's nothing to say.
Sure.
Not
is that
true.
What you tell Michelle?
No, she's believe me, she's the one that is
Guess what? He's not the leader of the group. There is none.
I'm the president.
Yeah.
I'm the president. No, she's the one that will inform me that I need to go.
How funny is it, though, that these years later, like, you have turned out to be like the tribe maker, though?
Well, I'm not the guy that would ever start a meeting at my house. Like this dad's meeting. I'll attend your meeting when I feel like it, but I definitely don't want to be responsible for like the food and the chairs and yet, God, I think, what is it? Life starts at the end of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And I used to, that doesn't mean skydiving necessarily or hanging off the rung of a chopper. It's socially, it's spiritually, it may be physically a little bit, but the older we get, the less of that. But I spiritually, God wants from me the thing that I want to give him the least. Yeah. So now I'm just pretty much like, okay, whatever you got, man. You want to humble me? It's not humbling to do a podcast. It's not humbling to have a group of men come over. It shouldn't be. But for some reason, I'm like, I just don't really want to.
Right?
I don't want to sponsor anyone because they might not stay sober forever.
Yeah. A little inconvenience is such a big thing for me. Why?
And the responsibility of someone else is like, I don't want to be what if I can't give these people what they need? Well, the truth is I'm not giving anyone what they need. I'm just putting my feet there. You're putting your feet there. I had a friend recently, and he said he wasn't going to AA. He lives in Florida, and he said he wasn't going to AA meetings anymore because a guy that he had really loved there had passed away, and he didn't feel joy anymore at this meeting. So he didn't go to AA anymore. And I said, well, why don't you be the joy? Like, why don't you? And he's like, oh, damn, you hit me hard. I'm like, well, when you were trying to get sober, somebody was there in the room waiting for you. Yep. If I just stop going to recovery meetings of whatever kind, then whoever needs someone at the door, if the room's empty, it's not going to work very well.
Yeah, you and Steve talked about that. And why do these guys who have 35 years of sobriety still show up? Because somebody showed up for them. Yeah. Right. And you know this as well as I do, they still need it too. Because some of those, that beam gets really small and they start teetering from side to side.
Dude, 20 years, I need it.
Yeah. Oh, I know I do. And I hope I always need it.
I get sent by my wife. She's like, you're manic. You need to go to a meeting. Like,
When was the last time you called somebody?
Yeah, exactly. Why don't you call a friend? I feel like I'm on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire every now and then.
Speaking of which,
Why don't
do
call
you
your
remember
lifeline?
you remember when I called you at the base of the Eiffel Tower?
Yeah, I do. You were in
because it was one of old man stuff. We were talking about glasses when I got here, but I've become more claustrophobic the older I've gotten. And we got to the front of the line, and I realized how small the elevator was going up the Eiffel Tower, and I freaked out, and I didn't go with my family. And then I called all you guys, and you were the one that picked up. Yeah, that was a fun.
I was like, man, he's kind of like, how bad are you at this? You screwed up a trip to Paris?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Wow.
Good job, buddy. You do need us.
Yeah, you need this program. It's pretty good.
God.
You could screw. Like, the truth is, we could screw up a trip to anywhere to the store. Before we wrap up, it's because it usually winds up launching in a little bit to another conversation. But I have a 2-part question I ask everyone before they leave, and it's what is the worst thing that's ever happened to you, and then what is the best thing that came out of that?
I've been thinking about this one since you asked Steve the other day, and I've been lucky that I haven't had big things happen to me. But it's all relative, right? I honestly thought when I asked my wife that night that I needed help, that my life was like over. I really did. Like I was at that point. And the best thing that came out of it was here I am today, right? Like, again, all these things that I've gotten, like new friends, I'd been looking for a brotherhood my entire life. I had my brothers, but that's family, right? I was looking for people that I could trust. I know I could call you any time of day, any of those guys on Monday, anybody that goes to any of my meetings, and they would put down anything and come help me. What the fuck? Sorry, Matt. There you go. There's one for you. To me, it's still mind-boggling. And that's why, like, in the beginning, I was very much like my life over here and recovery over here. And I didn't let the two mix. Now it's all together, man, because I'm just a fierce advocate for there is a better way, and I feel like we're living it, like we're chipping away at it. We're never going to be perfect, but I don't know. I've been given this gift, and hopefully I can say something that somebody will listen to. And again, it's one of the reasons I say my full name in meetings, because in the beginning, there was a guy who I was still out drinking, and we went out to lunch. It was like a business thing. And I'll never forget. He said, I was like, hey, lunch is on me. Can I get you a drink? He goes, this was the first person I ever heard say, no, thanks, I'm an alcoholic. I'm like, what? Like, people say that like out loud? But years later, when my wife said, maybe you should go to a meeting, I remember what Josh said.
Wow.
And so for me, I want people to know, I want them to remember my name in case they need to call, so they can look me up and find me. And I've had that happen, which is really, really cool. So it's like, that's why I'm not protective, because there's a guy in one of my meetings that said, hey, look, I give my full name because if I go back out and drink, you're either going to see my full name in the obituaries or in the police blotter, right? It's there either way. So I appreciate that people have said that before me, and I try to live that forward, I guess you could say. And yeah, but this life, man, what the hell?
Yeah, so much better. And like you said, this group of guys that we have has been amazing, but it all comes from like the root of this like program of going in and admitting your thing, and just to encourage you, just who you are to me as a friend, but also the things that you've slid into fiction novels that are a part of it. I mean, we have no idea. We talked to someone last night, and there was when he was 2.5 years old, he had a heart transplant or something, but major heart disease, and his family was poor, and someone paid for it. And now he started something that pays for other people and tries to help people along. And I'm like, that person is probably dead, for one thing, and they probably don't know the ripple that
they did.
And I'm grateful for you as a friend and a confidant, but you do a lot of great work, and your family is lucky to have you, and I'm lucky to have you as a friend.
Thanks, dude. Well, I appreciate that. And I want to say one thing, and I know I've told you this, but You changed my outlook big time on a couple things. One of which, when you guys went through everything you went through with Sage, and I watched you on your spiritual journey, and that's when I came to you and I said, in my head, I was like, I don't know what he's doing, but I want to be around it. And that's when I was like, I have to spend more time with Brad. The other thing you said to me was that you had made a promise, if anything happened to any of your kids, that all bets were off, that you would drink. And what you didn't know is I'd made the same promise to God. And so when you said it to me, I took that off the table too. So yeah, I just want to thank you for that.
Good. Thank you for saying that. I will say that walking through, somebody asked me last night, were you tempted to drink when Sage died? And I'm like, no. And I made the agreement with God.
Yeah.
But there have been so many things and people that have surprised me since that day. And I can't believe what my life is given this situation. You know what I mean? I can't believe I don't want to drink. I never wanted to drink. In fact, it made me repulsed, kind of, just the whole idea of it. And the people that he's given me, yeah, like you said, it's not perfect. I mean, it's not, we're not supposed to be perfect. By the way, if this was perfect, we would be in heaven and there would be it wouldn't be temporary. We wouldn't die. We're supposed to. So all the pain that I get to go through now, like you said, I'm not thanking God for the pain, thankful for the pain. I am now thankful for the pain and okay with the pain because it leads to somewhere. And it's actually what we've talked about it a bunch, but literally physical pain. I was just, oh man, we're all addicted to comfort. Physical pain, yeah, kind of my friend.
You've been through a couple of those things recently.
I'm pretty okay with a little more. And before I was any way to avoid physical pain and still kind of function in the world. And then it's because the spiritual pain has been, when you talk about me walking through Sage's death, I'm literally I don't even know what happened.
Yeah.
I just let him, I wish I still maintain this more. I just let him walk for me.
Yeah.
I've had more people say, man, that really, I have a sponsor, he was a great friend. And he said, he was an atheist. And he said, I believe in God because I watched you walk through your son's death. And I thought, what an honor that is that he said that. But the truth is, I literally couldn't walk.
Yeah.
So he carried me through that thing. And so this path becomes all the more special, though painful, given those things. And I'm grateful to walk through it with you.
Yeah, me too, man. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Love you, dude.
Love you too, man.
All right. Right on.
Hey, look, so how did it feel having the least famous person on your podcast?
Oh, no, you're not the least famous person.
Sure about that?
Thank you for tuning in to the Good Grief, Good God Show. New episodes drop on the first and third Tuesdays, so be sure to like, subscribe, and leave us a comment or review. We would love to hear from you. The Good Grief, Good God Show is brought to you in loving memory of Sage Warren.